Yo, what's up, everybody? Caveman is here again, and I got some special Pokemon gameplay footage. And this footage is from the last league challenge we had at our local OTS. We got the top undefeated decks here, so this was the final match. Uh, I would believe this is Lost Box versus Lugia Vstar, so we're gonna get into this right now. Good start for Lugia, I see, and if they go first, this should be a easy win. Um, they got the Radiant Charizard on the left side. Looks like Lost Box will be going first. Is that a double battle VIP? Gonna drop down a bunch of confies, probably, maybe a Cramorant. And if you don't know what Lost Box does, it's essentially like banished turbo. So they're trying to get a bunch of stuff in the lost zone. In other games, it could be banished or exiled, whatever you want to call it. But they want to get a bunch of stuff out there, which will then help them use their Pokemon's effects. Like Cramorant, for instance, will be able to attack for free if they got 4 or more in the lost zone. And it could just be 4 cards in general. It doesn't have to be Pokemon in Lost Zone or Energies in Lost Zone. And looks like they're getting a bunch of comfies. And comfies is cool because it will help you cycle through your deck by drawing 2, putting 1 into your hand, and 1 into the Lost Zone. So that is essentially what Lost Box is. They're going to try and turbo up their Banish Zone and use their Pokemon's abilities to be able to swing for really cheap and get some cool knockouts that way. Here we see the shuffle, the cut. Let's see how they're gonna swap that Radiant Zard over with the escape rope. Boom. So they get the comfy going. Here we should see the ability being used. Draw 2. They're going to keep 1 and toss 1. Tossing an energy. He must be playing more than 1 fire energy because I would not toss the fire if I had that Radiant Zard out like that. I'm going to switch card into the second comfy. Going to use the ability to draw 2 again, as you can see. Deciding what to keep, what to toss. This deck can kind of be a mid-range deck as far as skill level goes because you got to think on the fly about what you want to keep and what you think you won't need for the game. Depending on what your opponent's playing, that could be a hard decision sometimes. So he used the Hisuian Heavy Ball, I believe, grabs another comfy out of the prize card zone. It's gonna play the 4th comfy. Wow. Swap into the 4th one. Toss in Choice Belt. I can't really tell what that card is with the glare. Oh, Poke Gear. Still searching for another item card, I believe. And they're gonna pass it over to Lugia. They got 4 in the Lost Zone, but turn 1 in Pokemon you cannot attack. They're gonna drop the Luminion on the Lugia side. Luminion will let you search for any supporter card and then put it to your hand. Really good. If you're grabbing the Professor Burnett, Burnett will just ditch 2 Pokemon from your deck to the grave. And if you don't know what Lugia does, Lugia is able to bring back those normal type Pokemon to the bench for free. It doesn't matter if they're stage 1, stage 2 or not. Then they Ultra Balled into the Vstar. Vstar ability to bring back the Archeops. They drop their Collapse Stadium. Collapse Stadium will force the opponent to only have 4 Pokemon on the bench, not 5. And here we go with the Archeops. Archeops is good because it can get any energy from your deck and attach it to one of your Pokemon. It doesn't matter what Pokemon it is, it doesn't matter what energy it is. That's why Lugia is so good with the special energies. Here we see a double turbo. I think that's a V-Guard and a gift maybe. They decided to just attach 3. Lugia will swing over the Comfy, grab a prize card, and that will end their turn. Here we're going to see some more Lost Box shenanigans. They're dropping the Chorus. Chorus will let you look at the top 5, put 2 into the Lost Zone, and then 3 into your hand. Pretty good. Comfy ability again. Very repetitive, the Lost Box deck, but if you can turbo it up really fast, it would be really strong, depending on the deck you're going against. But drops the Rayhan into the Lost Zone. Looks like they got 7 in the Lost Zone right now. Attached to retreat. Gonna bring out the Cramorant. Cramorant will probably poke at it for 120 damage. Drops double Sableye. Takes 1 Sableye back. Yeah, Cramorant hits for 120 damage, I believe, or 110. Not enough to knock out the Lugia, but a good chip away. Lugia has the Manaphy here, and that might do it. Manaphy will prevent any damage to the bench, and Sableye is good in Lost Box because it can do a specific number of damage to any Pokemon. It doesn't just have to be the active one. Brings out the Tyranitar. Tyranitar is good because it's a dark type, strong against Psychic. We'll attach 1 of the single strike energies to Tyranitar. Takes out Cramorant, and Lugia just too much for Lost Box, it would seem. The way that it can just put energies onto any Pokemon it wants, dig out the deck for any Pokemon it may need depending on the matchup. Escape Rope. Of course, the opponent's got to do it first. They're already grabbing another Comfy. Comfy ability. Draw 2, discard 1. Another Chorus Experiment. Check 5. Ditch 2. And that should be enough to get Sableye going, because Sableye's attack reads, I believe, if you have 10 or more in the Lost Zone, you can do 120 spread damage to anything. So you can distribute the damage counters however you like to any of your opponent's Pokemon. It doesn't have to be active, like I said. It could be on the bench, so it should be enough to at least knock out one of the Archeops, or maybe the Lugia. Well, Lugia is 280, so it might not be enough. Lugia. I'm gonna Fog Crystal into maybe another energy, or just to check the deck, see what's in there. That's another thing about Pokemon too. You can use these cards, but you don't have to grab anything. It could be a bluff. It could literally mean that you don't have the card that you're searching for, but they will then pass. Looks like they couldn't find an energy, or maybe they already attached to Sableye so they couldn't retreat. Thinking about attaching to Tyranitar. Gonna go ahead and attach it to Lumineon. Once the Archeops comes out, it's just super fast. They can choose what Pokemon they want to attach the energies to, so it's really tough for the opponent to do anything about that unless they knock out the Archeops early. They bring out the Tyranitar. Tyranitar will run over. Ooh, he's gonna boss up maybe the Sableye. Yep. Knock out the Sableye. Grabs another one. Oh, and the Tyranitar's ability will mill 2 off the top of their deck, which is pretty good. Lost Box has not taken a single card, so I don't believe they could come back. Clara, cycle back. 2 Pokemon, 2 energies to the hand, I believe. Drops another Sableye. Thinking not enough to knock out the Lugia. I'm gonna put all the damage counters on Lumineon. Interesting choice. Lugia knows that they got the Sableye in the back waiting, so they're essentially gonna have a 2-prize knockout next turn. Tyranitar's gonna go ahead and run it over. We're going down to the last 2 prize cards. Gonna mill that fire energy, which is probably their last fire energy for that Zard. Gonna rescue carrier the Sableye just to bring it back. Attach Sableye. Active. So they're gonna knock out the Lumineon, put the rest of the damage counters on Lugia, and then they're gonna pass turn to Lugia. Lugia will probably knock out the Sableye, and that should do it. I mean, double Tyranitar. Ooh. Lugia just needs 2 more turns. Attack this turn, attack next turn, and that is game. Especially with 3 attackers on board. Even if they by chance get rid of the Lugia or the active Tyranitar, they got the Tyranitar setting up in the background. That's the thing about Lost Box too. All their stuff is baby basics essentially. I don't think there's any of them that go over 200 HP. So, plus with the darkness type stronger than the psychic, it's just a quick dub. Goes in for the Charizard. Maybe one final attack. Kara will recycle the fire energy. I believe Lugia is just telling them he will essentially just win next turn, even if he does by chance knock out. They're gonna lost vacuum the stadium. Stadium doesn't work anymore. He's gonna knock out the Tyranitar, get 2 prize cards, and Lugia will attack for game. That was a real quick one. Lugia got set up pretty fast, and Lost Box just couldn't turbo that Lost Zone quick enough to counter anything. But that was it, guys. I appreciate everybody tuning in, checking out some cool Pokemon content. Hopefully, I get to do some of this soon. I'll be back with the Digimon pretty soon as well, and I will check y'all guys on the next one. Peace.